Hello and welcome. Joe Valenzuela with Vista Mutual Insurance Services. Let's talk about adversity. There are many times throughout your life or your insurance agent life that you're going to face adversity. And you have to find a way to get up, dust yourself off, and keep putting one foot in front of the other. You know, when I was first getting into the insurance industry, it was kind of a fluke accident. I was doing hardwood flooring, and I did that for about 5 years. And I was an edger, the person that would sit at the edge of the wall and hold an 80 to 120 pound sander and bend over all day. And so eventually I hurt my back. This was when I was about 22 years old as well. I had to have major surgery, a microdiscectomy and laminectomy. It's basically where they take a portion of your spine where the disc is bulging out and they remove a crescent-shaped portion of 2 of your vertebrae to give space and then remove about 3/4 of your disc. So I still have some issues to that. Today I had to relearn how to walk again, intensive physical therapy, and there's a lot of muscular issues I have because of this. So it took a long time for me to be regular again. But during that process, every day, I would just visualize what I wanted and where I wanted to be, knowing that it was a long road to get to, but the only way to get to it was to keep walking down it. And I got better. I was pretty good. I was able to enjoy the things in life that I did before, like play golf and play basketball. And about 10 years ago, I was on a basketball court and completely ruptured my right Achilles. Now, I've always had issues with that side of my body since my surgery, so I think it had something to do with it. So completely ruptured the Achilles. The recovery time for that is about 2 years to get back to where you were before. So had a cast for 8 weeks, had the surgery 2 days after I popped it. And luckily I knew some of the surgeons because of the industry that I'm in, so I got in really quickly and I was able to make my decision really fast about who I wanted. They did a great job on the surgical repair, but then came a long road of physical therapy again, possibly even longer than the first one, to relearn how to walk, rebuild the atrophied muscles in my right side, basically all the way from my hip down to my toes. So that is the third time in my life I've had to learn how to walk again. And I'm saying all this stuff before I talk about any insurance adversity, because I think that this rolls over into life as well. You know, when you get knocked down, it is okay to stay down for a moment just to assess the damage that it's done. So I think when people talk about getting right back up, you don't have to get right back up. You just have to get back up. It doesn't matter when it happens. Sometimes you need to be on the ground for a moment to assess all the damages and make sure that if you just jump right back up, you're not going to hurt yourself again. So I talk about all this to say that there's going to be things in this industry that we know that are going to be just like this. One, regulations change, and these have nothing to do with our decisions or what we're doing. It's just a governing body that decides this is what they're going to do now. And sometimes those can make it, or usually those make it more difficult to sell. You know, an added piece of technology for recording that you have to have, or another document that you have to retain for another 10 years. And it's easy to just say, you know what, I'm just going to stay down this time. But you can't. If you want to be successful in this industry or anything in life, you have to get back up. And again, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get back up. Some people are quick, some people are slow. As long as you do. You know, we learn a lot from when something goes bad. We learn only a little bit from when something goes good. So take them as a learning opportunity. You have to be able to adapt quickly and with frustration involved in it. And it's not always going to be pretty. It's usually going to be very complex and convoluted. But if you want to do this, you just have to be willing to stand back up and get back out there. You know, whether it's a company that's backing a plan out of a market, this happens. So let's say that you have 300 clients on this one plan. It's been really good for a long time, or maybe even a short time, and they decide to completely pull it out of the county. Well, this wasn't a decision that you made, and it's really going to affect your bottom line, right? If you don't replace all those people, you're not going to make any money next year. Let's say if that was your only 300 people. So your first priority should be to recapture your own book of business. They've already bought something from you, right? And these situations happen quite often. And it could not even be that they're backing out of a network. Sometimes a company will back out of not even backing out of the county. Sometimes a company will back out of a network of doctors. And so the plan's still there, but they're not able to access their doctors. So that's a knockdown, that's a bad thing to hear. And usually we don't hear this stuff until around August, September, October, right before we're about to go into our enrollment period. And so in a very short amount of time, we have to find out what's happening and then act accordingly so that we can take advantage of those opportunities. Because it is a bad thing, right? If a company is leaving a county and you have 300 people on that company and you have to get all those people back, that sucks. But it also creates another opportunity because there's other people that aren't with you that are also having this happen to them. So when you're calling out to your clients and getting them onto this new plan for their current doctors, you're going to want to ask them, hey, do you have any friends that are going through this? Because I know that there's a lot of people that this is happening to, and some don't even know about it. So we want to make sure that they're okay too. So not only did you retain your client, but now you're able to get a couple new clients because of this. Now, when these things happen, it's usually not a huge growth year for people. How could it be? If you're going to go out and recapture 300 of your current clients, that's going to take up a lot of your time. So you have to try to be efficient with that too, right? You have to make sure that you're able to get multiple people in one location to sign up so that you can have more time to get more new business, right? Let's say a carrier decides that they're not going to give you any more co-op dollars when they have given you co-op dollars in the past, and this is what you use to run your marketing campaigns. Well, that sucks. That's a knockdown. Again, stay down for a second, assess how much you're really in pain, where you're hurt at, and then stand back up. There's always options. You could do half the campaign and then just do it yourself. That's the money you were going to spend anyway. You could partner with another agent and split the sales and then spend the same amount of money. You could reach out to another carrier to see if they're willing to give you co-op dollars to run seminars for their company. So there are always solutions to problems. And if there aren't solutions, there are ways to work within them. But if we don't have that mindset, if we're not willing to take the shot on the chin and then stand back up for another one, because there will be another one, then it's going to be very hard for you to be successful in any industry, not just this one. So the adversity that comes through life can teach you about the adversity that comes through being a Medicare insurance agent and vice versa. There are things that we can control, so we try to control those as much as possible. And even sometimes those get messed up. You have to give yourself a little bit of grace as well. There are a lot of people that are very hard on themselves. And when something doesn't go, and I'm kind of one of these people, I'm working on this myself to give myself more grace. When something doesn't go right, I really stay down longer than I should because I'm not allowing myself the grace to say, listen, you're out there trying. At least you're out there doing that, and you learn from the mistake that you just made. The mistakes are your tuition to learning this stuff. And mistakes usually do cost money. So when I think of tuition, that helps my mind wrap around that. You're going to make mistakes. It's necessary to make mistakes in order to succeed. And that's a lot of the times what I tell my first year or first time agents is I need you to get to 100 failures. And they look at me and they go, what? Because I don't want you to be stopped by rejection ever. And you're going to have 100 rejections, most likely, before you get your first sale. Just the nature of the business and your education, because there's a lot to absorb. So some people are better than that, some people aren't. But the goal is not for you to get an appointment the first time. The goal is for you to get 100 rejections so that you understand and learn how to overcome those objections so that you get a little bit numb to them where it doesn't affect you, where you get off the call and say, I don't want to make another one of those calls. So adversity is necessary, although we hate it when it's happening. It is one of the only times where we can kind of stay present. Well, in my mind, where I stay present is in that adversity. So I like it for that. It allows me to stay present instead of thinking in the future or past. And it allows me to be down, come up with a plan that I know that I'd be happy with to move forward with, and then go out and execute. And then possibly fail again. Yeah, that can happen too. So try to control the things that you can control, and the things that you can't, stay down for your appropriate amount of time, and then get right back up and go reattack it. Know that, industry regulations are not only affecting you, they're affecting everyone. So if someone can do it, then you can too. This was just a quick video to make sure that you understand that no matter where we are in our business, how far we are ahead, or how much success we think we have, that we're always going to have adversity. And success equals you getting up and attacking after that adversity happens. Because if you can't, you'll be defeated pretty quickly with anything that you're trying to accomplish. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight into how we think, or how I try to train my team to think about adversity. And hopefully you can gain some insights on how you can think about adversity in a little bit more of a positive light. For Vista Mutual Insurance Services, I'm Joe Valenzuela. Please like, comment, follow, and subscribe.